Hey guys, I'm Zed.
And it's Z.
So, Neon Destiny comes out in, what, a week?
Pre-release is going to be next Friday. So,
Okay.
This is being filmed the weekend before.
So, we've looked at the spoilers, as always, and chose some cards that we want. Now, we're not saying these are the best cards. These are just the cards that, to me, I looked at the pictures and I'm like, ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, they got good effect. And that's how I chose.
I just went for the cards that seem like they're going to either A, be the most fun, or B, I want to just do something with. I've got a couple of pet projects in mind with cards out of the set. The set did a lot more for me than I thought it was originally going to. So the set was a little bit sneakily surprising for me, and I'm turning out to like the set more than I thought I would.
My cards fit into my Boar deck, and might be getting an upgrade. Well, it's time for an upgrade. So that's kind of where my cards are. And there is a card in here that I want to get for my wife's red and black vampire deck.
Yeah. Honestly, there's a lot of really fun cards in the set. So
oh yeah,
I know. It feels like they've added a lot of things that add up on triggers and stuff too, which those cards alone always excite me. But because of the wealth of the amount we've kind of gotten, because it feels like we got 3 or 4 of this set, not all of them could make my list. And so it's one of those, I'm pretty excited about them, but they're not here on my top.
Let's be honest, guys. We could have made this about the top 20s of ours and still left some out. This set has some really cool ones. Just because I don't want to mention it in the honorable mentions, I have to say the full art lands are beautiful, to my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
I do find that it's wrong that you only get one in every 20 packs or 12 packs or so.
I haven't looked at the numbers. I know I've got a couple of people who are friends of mine who are all pleading for them. So it's a fight for everybody trying to get them from me. Because I'm trying to keep my commander box at least relatively decent size. I know I'm probably going to move off of them. But if I was looking to complete a set, oh yeah, I want these lands. They're pretty cool. So
I just want one of each for right now. If I get more, I get more.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and jump into the list. And I'm going to start off with, I do not know how to say that name.
Maybe Ryu or Ryu.
Ryu. Okay, we'll go with Ryu. Ryu Storm Edge. 2 colors, 1 black, 1 white. Legendary creature, human samurai. Which I do like samurais. First strike. When a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, untap it. If it's the first combat phase of the turn, there is an additional combat phase after this phase. And it's a 3/3. The way I play my Boar deck, I'm usually only attacking with 1 creature.
Yeah.
So if I can make it a samurai / warrior, I get 2 combat phases? Yes.
Yeah, that's the nice thing. Honestly, a lot of this set did a lot to kind of push the, let's be real, pseudo-exalted kind of mechanic on the samurai there. But that's not a bad thing. I think it's going to encourage, the Voltron playstyle, which Boros tends to excel at anyway. And most of the samurai are in Boros, so I think it's just, if they had to pick one color scheme to put it in, they put it in the right one for it to synergize well with the Commander format.
Now, I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so it says, if you attack alone. So, I tap him, I attack one guy. I can't attack with someone else at a different target.
One attacker.
Okay. Just making sure so I understand the ruling here.
So, my number 5 here is Hayeko Yamazaki, the General. It's 4 mana cost, uncommon commander, 3/3 human samurai with trample. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, you may cast target artifact card from your graveyard this turn. So, kind of like we were talking about, the samurais want to be attacking alone. This one is a built-in recursion for your artifact. So, if you're building that style of Voltron deck, again, kind of like these samurai are built around to do, it's going to let you get an equipment back from the graveyard. Interestingly enough, I really like this for those Voltron decks because it gives you an equipment beast back from the graveyard, or gives you a mana rock back. So this one I think has a lot of versatility, and frankly, it should have partners with. It should have partners with one of the honorable mentions on my list. It's a throwback to the brothers Yamazaki, so I'm down with this card. I like it. I like the homage, but again, I feel like it should have partners with. That's my only complaint.
Yeah. Now, by the way, we did not make these lists together, separately, and I have to say, my number 5 and your number 5 work really well together.
Yeah, I mean, if you're building a samurai deck, you're going to be in Mardu probably, just for one of the other cards that's going to come up on the list for one of us. Not going to spoil too much more than that. But because of that, it's one of those, you get access to all the different cool samurais that all want to be doing similar things.
Because with mine, you'd get 2 attack phases, and then if you have this out, you would get 2 artifacts back.
Yes.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
We're going to move on. To Lizard Blade. Yes, I need to... There we go. Okay. I had to look at this card a lot to figure out how it works. Lizard Blades. 1 colorless, 1 red. Artifact creature, enchantment lizard.
Equipment lizard.
Equipment lizard.
It's not an enchantment.
Yeah, my bad. It's a 1/1. It has double strike. Equipped creature has double strike. And then...
Reconfigure.
For 2. Go ahead and read what Reconfigure does.
So, Reconfigure is a new ability in the set here. It's a way to kind of help you get to Modified, which is relevant for a lot of things. Modified is where you have a 1/1 counter, it's equipped, or it's enchanted. I believe those are the only thresholds. It might be other things. But basically, Reconfigure is going to say you can, for its Reconfigure cost, in this case 2, you can attach it to target creature you control, or you can unattach it from a creature. You can only do this as a sorcery. If it's attached to a creature, then Lizard Blades itself would not be a creature in this instance. So it's just an equipment granting double strike. If it's on its own, it's a 1/1 double striker for 2 mana. So it's a card that has the versatility of both being an equipment if you want it to be, or an artifact creature if you want it to be, and you can move it around as needed in the game.
Which I actually really like, because again, it gives me the versatility of an opening hand. Okay, so I can play this as a creature. Or later in the game, I can actually add this to my creature to give it an effect.
And notably, for like commander decks, these kind of cards, because they're equipment, you can use them to make your commanders more powerful. And then if something were to happen, that commander gets blanked or killed or removed somehow, you still have the ability to have a creature out of that whole endeavor. So it's not going to leave you in nothing. Or if you need it to be a creature to come in and be a threat, it can do that as well. Once the board's clogged up, you can just move it onto another creature's and equipment and go to town. So it's got some built-in versatility there.
I just realized, if this is equipped to my commander, Wrath of God happens. This is equipment, and then it would become a creature.
Yes, because the creature will then die, it will unattach. So
then
it
I
should survive the Wrath of God. I'm not sure exactly how they've got this set up. I'm sure you can look up and post it in the comments.
If I can't find somewhere, I know you guys are really smart. Go down below and tell us, because I'm actually really curious on that.
We're kind of doing this during the Texas blizzard right now, and my internet at my personal home is not working, so I literally had to try to just on a rough way. I was doing this via roundabout Wi-Fi to try to get my list together so we can get this filmed. So,
yeah, but like I said, if you guys can find out a way, or just send me a link to where I can find out the answer.
Yeah, and I'm sure Wizards will probably post it in their log that they do every set about rules modifications or rules changes. It'll probably be one of those things they've discussed there, so it should be available by the time this video comes out. It's just more a matter, I don't know off the top of my head. I don't feel comfortable telling you something that may not be true.
That is true.
But yeah, as for my next card, this is kind of the one I was alluding to previously. It's Ishin Two Heavens is 1. a red, a white, and a black mana for a 3/4 human samurai legendary creature. If a creature attacking causes a trigger ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability will trigger an additional time. That includes any of your samurais attacking, giving you a trigger. Therefore, you get to double up on the samurai triggers.
Ooh.
So, what this means in terms for these other samurais, going back to my number 5, the Yamazaki there, going to the attack, that attack trigger is going to go off. This will allow you to trigger that ability a second time, getting you 2 artifacts on 1 attack. Therefore, getting you a lot more value out of your samurai.
Ooh.
I love triggered abilities. I love doubling up my triggered abilities. That's why I love commanders like Yarick. That's why I love things like Conjurer's Closet and Panharmonicon. And this is another one of those abilities that I love. So this was one of those cards I was pretty excited about.
I almost added him to my list.
Yeah, he's really, really good.
So the next one... Eater of Virtue. Virtue, okay. So it's a one colors, legendary artifact equipment.
Yep.
Whenever equipped creature dies, exile it. Equipped creature gets +2/+0. As long as a card exiled with Eater of Virtue has flying, equipped creature has flying. The same is true for First Strike, Double Strike,
Death Touch, Haste, Hexproof, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, Protection, Reach, Trample, and Vigilance. Basically what this is going to do is this is going to carry those keywords over. So if something that it's equipped to dies, it'll exile it, but what that exiling ability does is it allows you to save that keyword to put on something else. This is great for commanders like Odric, the original one and the second one, because they care about those keywords mattering. Akroma from Commander Legends, who again cares about those keywords. So the keywords matters, commanders. This is just another fun toy for that. Or if you're playing keyword soup on a commander, because they've got a bunch of things, this is a pretty nice tool to have as well, because it can expand that toolbox for you.
I mean, it's a samurai sword, so I like it. It's a blade. And I can just see some incredible things coming out of it. And, yeah. And it also has equip cost of just 1, so that's really cheap.
Yeah, that's the other nice thing, is it's a 1 mana to put in play, 1 mana to equip. So in a deck like Rogak or whatever, where you can just go, cool, Rogak, I'm going to pay 1 mana, put it in play, next turn, equip, throw an aura or something on it, and just go get you a little bit of quick value there. But moving on to my next one, we have one of the commander set slash collector's pack exclusive cards. So it's not in the base set. It's one of those cards that's in the supplemental part of that, but it's not in the commander decks.
This is the one that I actually had trouble finding the card for. And
this is partially an homage for a deck I'm really wanting to build. But it's Go Shintai of Life's Origin. It's 3 and no green for a legendary enchantment creature shrine. And it's got for a red, blue, black, red, and green, you can tap and return target enchantment from your graveyard to the battlefield. So it's straight reanimation for an enchantment. Then, whenever it or another non-token shrine enters the battlefield under your control, you get to create a 1/1 colorless shrine enchantment creature token. Notably, the shrines all care about the number of shrines in play, so this is going to exponentially grow your shrines. Shrines have been a thing that's going to, like a small little series back in original Kamigawa. Then we got some in Core 21. Now we've got these. With Sanctum of All, it's going to go tutor shrines from your deck. So this is for the shrine deck. And I'm kind of excited about that. I'm also slightly excited about it as a 5-color enchantment commander. Because it's an enchantment creature as well. It synergizes with enchantments with the 5 cost to be able to reanimate any enchantment you want out of your graveyard. And as it kind of stands, when it comes into play, Or you have another shrine. If you're running a shrine package come into play, you get other enchantment creatures. So it gives you a lot of little fun little toolsy tricks you can do there. I like it. I think it's got a lot of fun versatility built into it. And I don't think it's like super powerful or over the top.
No.
I think it's one of those niche fun cards that have certain applications, but if you want it to be a little bit more general, you have that capability. So it's really your shrine commander. That's what its niche is. But if you wanted to expand it and just build it Enchantress, it's a perfect commander for that as well, and I love that.
I like the card, I really do. And I can see where it could get out of hand with the other shrines.
That's just it. It's not really so powerful it's going to get out of hand on its own. It doesn't generate value like a lot of other commanders.
No.
Instead, it's playing into the theme. It's playing into its role. It's a role player. It's a key piece of that cog, but it's not something that's going to wreck the game or something that must be answered at the time of resolution.
And just so you guys know, there are 5 other shrines in the set, which will be going. So, right there was the other 5 shrines, just so we don't have to go through them, but you guys can see what they look like. And you can pause the video and read. Katana. 1 white, 1 colorless, artifact enchantment. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, same effect as we've been reading, you may pay 1. When you do, attach ancestral katana to it. So that's kind of cool. You get to attach it to whatever the one creature is without paying its equipment cost, which is 3. An equipped creature gets +2/+1. That should have actually gone lower on my list.
Well, the nice thing is it cheats a lot of its equipment cost.
Yes.
And it equips like during the attack declaration. So if it's relevant that your creature is not as large before going into your attackers, then that can be kind of a thing. Because it's when it attacks alone. So let's say it's a 2-power samurai. Before that, you declare your attack and then you put the ability up. Now it becomes 4 power. That can sometimes be relevant. Not often, not most of the time, but there are some niche cases where that can be important. The other big thing, though, is it's a common, it's an equipment, and it's not terrible. It's not your best rate you could get for a card, but it works. And honestly, if you're building something like a Pauper Voltron deck, which, hint, hint, I'm doing that with this set, so I'm actually looking at 2 Pauper commanders for this set.
Look forward to the Voltron versus Voltron battle between Z and myself.
That might be a video. Yeah, we'll have to see how that one goes. But right now, that's kind of. I think it's actually a little bit better than you're probably thinking. But it's not going to be amazing. But it's certainly a fun card. Everyone thinks samurai, and what do they think of? They think of the katana. So they need to have their sword.
Well, mind you, my lists aren't naturally ranked. I just kind of put them in any order.
Yeah, so my number 2 here is going to be Light Paws, Emperor's Voice. It's a 2-mana Fox Advisor. As soon as this card was spoiled, and this card got kind of leaked a little bit early into the cycle here, everyone in our group kind of knew that I was super going to be all in on this card because it's a fox, and foxes are one of my favorite animals. Them and wolves, so it's like, okay, cool. I get my Kitsune.
Is that a Ninetales?
It's Kitsune. It's great.
I did not even see that.
Yeah, but the other thing is it's actually pretty playable, so I'm not going to be too disappointed in that. It's a 2-mana 2/2 Fox Advisor. When an aura enters the battlefield under your control, if you cast it, you may search your library for an aura card with mana value less than or equal to the aura, with a different name than each aura you control. Put that card onto the battlefield attached to Light Paws, then shuffle. So it's a little bit lengthy, but basically what it's saying is if you cast an aura, then you can search your deck for another aura with equal or lesser mana cost, as long as it's not a duplicate, and attach it to Light Paws. So the fun thing you can do here is you can actually just chain Voltron pieces and aura this thing up and make it a really, really scary commander. It's great.
Damn. I do like it.
One of the things I'm really looking forward to is turning this into a Fox Angel.
No.
Because, again, that's another one of my favorite creature types in Magic is angels. Maybe you'll see that in deck tech at some point.
By the way, if you guys haven't been watching the deck techs, I actually really enjoy them, and I'm looking forward to getting some of the cards in the deck techs.
Yeah, I know the deck techs kind of took a pause around Innistrad. I do want to kind of go back and hit those at some point. It's just been kind of busy with my work schedule, and then obviously the recovery after the fire. I know with Kamigawa, we will be doing videos for that. I've already got a plan. I'm just waiting on the list to release so I can start working on how I'm going to do it. And that may be another one of those formats where we just kind of discuss the cards and then afterwards we add them in post. It may not be one of those where I physically do card swaps or put them in sleeves and show the deck.
Okay, so my first honorable mention, I have 2 and you have 3.
Yep.
Is
Intercessor's Arrest.
For 2 colors, 1 white. Enchantment Aura. Enchant permanent. Enchant permanent cannot attack, block, or cool vehicles. Its activated ability cannot be activated unless their mana abilities.
Yep.
I like this card because of Swoop Swarm.
So, I don't think that works how you think it does, though. Because Scoot Swarm is not an activated ability; it's a triggered ability.
Oh, okay, my bad.
That's why I love triggered abilities. But yes, so if there's a pesky artifact that's doing something, you can shut it down unless it's like a Soul Ring or a mana artifact. If there's a land doing like other things that land shouldn't be doing, like I don't know, tapping and making a guy super big, this deals with that. But the nice thing is it does lock down a creature. It does make it where things can't be crewed, especially in this set where a lot of the pilots actually get to cruise if it's 2 more. This being at common is really nice for shutting that down or going, hey, no. You're going to crew this right. You're not going to get to cheat the crew cost. That can kind of slow them down a little bit. I also think arrest effects are actually pretty fun and pretty nice, especially if you're building like an Enchantress level control deck. So, for example, this is an aura for Light Paws. I'm going to go Intercessor's Arrest, then I'm going to go find something to equip my Light Paws and make it more powerful. So, if you think about it and you build in the right ways, this can actually be sneaky powerful. And there are a lot of uncommon or common cheap commanders that have made these type of effects actually pretty good.
Well, I like it because it makes the creature can't attack, can't block. I mean, that's always useful. You can't crew with, like you said, there's a lot of vehicles and stuff in this one that I've noticed. And overall, it's a common, yes, but it has a decent effect that can help you in the game. And
it's permanent. It's a permanent you get to enchant.
Yes.
Again, that pesky land, you can turn it off. So if you don't want them to strip mine you, I'm gonna put this under strip mine. You're not gonna activate it. You know, it's just a mana generator. You're allowed to have mana off it. You're not allowed to blow up my lands. Thank you.
Unless you want to waste a card to get rid of this card.
Yeah, and at that point, you're kind of paying like 3 for the price of 1. So it's like, okay, fine. Or 3 for the price of 2. Even then, it's like you're jumping through hoops.
Which is always good. Make your opponent jump through hoops.
Yeah, so my first honorable mention here is going to be Replication Specialist. It's 4 and a blue. Moonfolk Artificer. So shout out to the Moonfolk. Like that they're back. It's a 3/4 flyer. Whenever a non-token artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 1 and a blue, which is actually a pretty low rate if you're in an artifact deck anyway, because you're generally going to ramp a lot. If you do, you get to create a token that's a copy of that artifact. So, nice. I'm going to play a Soul Ring for 1 mana. Tap 1 and a blue. I get 2 Soul Rings. Do I need something like, I don't know, a big scary, like, artifact that does big, mean, nasty thing? Cool, I'm going to make a second copy of that so I get 2 of them. Even if you get rid of 1, I have a backup. It's a fun little card. It's an uncommon, so it should be pretty easy to pick up, all things considered. And And I do try to showcase some cards at lower rarity because I do understand not everyone's going to be able to go out and buy the biggest, splashiest things. Yeah, I could fill this list with rares and mythics and everything, but there are some of these commons and uncommons that have me excited. Most of my favorite cards in the set are uncommon. So it's just, I'm pretty impressed. And honestly, I like these type of effects where it sneaks you an extra copy or it gives you extra things.
Now, you do have to remember, legendary artifacts are under the rule of legendary where you're going to have one of it, right?
Unless you get rid of the legendary rule, which there are ways to do.
There you go, guys.
Including in the set. There is a card in the set that says the legendary rule does not apply.
See, I was just reminding you and myself at the same time.
The first one that did that, by the way, was an original Kamigawa. So it was a throwback to an old Kamigawa card. The Commander's Legends card that has that ability is also a throwback to Kamigawa. So we've got 3 Kamigawa cards that all say legendary rule is not in effect.
Nice. All right, so my second honorable mention is bronze-plated Boar. 2 colors, 1 red. Artifact creature, equipment Boar.
Yep.
Trample. Equipped creature gets +3/+2 and has trample. And reconfigured cost of 5. It's a strength 2 toughness. No, strength 3 toughness 2. I like it. It's really powerful. I mean, it gives you trample. It has trample, and it can give a creature +3/+2 and trample. The reason it's an honorable mention, the reconfigure cost is 5.
Yeah, and notably, it's a reconfigure cost, not equip. So unless I have missed something, a lot of your equip cheaters, where it's going to kind of get around equip costs, do not get to apply to this card because it's not equipping; it is reconfiguring.
So my one of my commanders in my Boar deck wouldn't be able to cheat this.
It would depend on the wording. For example, if it's a card that says equip cost or 0, no, because that's not an equip cost. That's an reconfigure cost. If it says you may attach equipment, that's separate because this is an equipment.
Okay, yeah.
It's all about how the card is going to be worded and phrased, assuming they don't change anything to account for that. It is possible that they may change a rule or two to kind of provide flexibility. They do sometimes update rulings when things like this occur.
So when I release this, I will try to find an FAQ.
If there is any kind of FAQ or clarification, he'll try to provide it in at least some kind of caption or description. But right now, that's the way we're looking at these cards with that kind of context or viewpoint in mind.
If it's not in the description, I will post a comment and pin it to the top so that it is there for you guys. So
let's move to my second honorable mention then, and that's going to be Blade Blizzard Kitsune. So it's 2 and a white for a Fox Ninja, so 2 really popular types. I don't really so much care about the ninja as much as it's a fox. Not only is it a fox, it's got ninjutsu for 3 and a white. Okay, that's fine. On a 2/2 body, so it's a fair body for its time, but it's got double strike. So the nice thing here is it's a creature that can be ninjutsu'd into play with double strike. If you're doing combat trigger or combat damage triggers on top of that, something like a coastal piracy, reconnaissance mission, this is going to come in, ninjutsu off of it, and just go bang bang, draw me 2 cards.
Let's go ahead and explain what ninjutsu is.
So ninjutsu is a mechanic that's returning here in the set, where if you can return an unblocked attacker you control to your hand. When you do, and you pay the ninjutsu cost, you can put this card onto the battlefield tapped and attacking instead. So it's after blockers are already declared, meaning it kind of comes in, sneaks in, and just deals that damage. Yeah, it's not the big splashy effect, but in this case, it's going to be more of a damage dealer or trying to get those combat damage triggers like I mentioned. So that's really where this card will kind of shine. It's not going to be your traditional ninja that'll come in, do a thing, and get in there.
I mean, I really do like this card. I'm wanting to play around with the ninjutsu ability a little bit because it kind of seems interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, for a double striker, it's always fun.
Yeah. And then we'll go to my other honorable mention here, which this is the one that my number 5 should have partnered with, and that's Norika Yamazaki, the poet. It's a 3 mana, 2 and a white, human samurai, 3/2 vigilance. Whenever a warrior or samurai you control attacks alone, you may cast target enchantment from your graveyard this turn. So the sister was artifacts. This one is enchantments. Otherwise, it's the same core principle of the card. That's kind of the thing, is these cards go so well together, they feel like they should be partners. Much like the brothers Yamazaki said, kind of you play the two. So this one really kind of felt like it missed that. I get why you can't do that. Okay, cool. You're having to balance it for like traditional standard and all that, but this is one of those things that feels like a completely missed opportunity when realistically it's 2 uncommons in the set. There's not a lot of things you could have linked like this. I don't think it really hurts too much if you had done a partner with the other card.
I actually really like that. The other one was a red card?
The other one was red, so it's in Boros. Again, kind of going back to that theme of they really did a lot to help Boros Voltron in this set. I know, for example, your Voltron deck is more so based around artifacts, so you'll primarily be looking at the red one. But if it's a deck that's more 50-50 split on how they have them handled, then having the combination of both is actually really, really good. And if you're building something like Enchantress, this is a way you can recur them. Or if you're building the Light Paws deck like we discussed, this is a way you can get some of those auras back. So this card does really help out. And if your removal is in the form of an enchantment, this will allow you to get those removal spells back. So just something to think about.
Ooh. Sorry, guys. Okay, so this is my number 1 is the card I actually want to get for my wife. And you will see why it's my number 1.
Hidetsugu, or yeah, something like that.
Consumer all?
Consumes all, yeah.
Consumes all. 1 colorless, 1 black, 1 red. It is a enchantment sage?
Saga,
okay. So, Saga it's the first turn, second turn, then third turn, right?
Yeah, it's after you draw a card, then you add a lore counter.
Okay.
So
on the first turn, destroy each non-land permanent with mana value 1 or less. Not that bad of an effect, but not that great.
Yeah.
When you have 2 Saga counters on it, exile all graveyards. Now, that is going to hurt my wife's vampire deck because it does need the graveyard a little bit, but that's good. When we have 3, exile this Saga, then return it to the battlefield transformed under your control.
And it comes back transformed into the Vessel of the All-Consuming, which is an enchantment creature, Ogre Shaman.
It has Trample. When Vessel of the All-Consuming deals damage, put a +1/+1 counter on it. When Vessel of All-Consuming deals damage to a player, if it has dealt 10 or more damage to that player this turn, they lose the game. And it's a 3/3. I want to put it in her deck. I don't think it's going to go off that often. I don't think it's going to make it. But it does add a different in scenario for
win condition.
Win condition is what I was looking.
This screams like the Vorpal Sword thing. Because you had the thing with the Vorpal Sword. This is just another one of those. I'm waiting for the alternative win con deck that you're just going to build that's just straight, they lose the game. That's going to be like the big rule text of the deck is just they lose the game.
And mind you, it's not my deck. I am building this for my wife to play against me. I do like it. Again, I like the picture. I really, really like the artwork in this set. And I think she can do it.
Yeah. But kind of getting over to my number 1, you've already passed it.
I noticed.
Yeah, I kind of went with a card that to me is just, I'm excited for because, first of all, it's like, okay, cool, we're learning more about this character. Second of all, I like what they've done, and it's got my favorite, like, mechanical keyword. So I went with the Wandering Emperor as my number 1. It's 2 white for a legendary planeswalker, a loyalty of 3 when it comes into play. It's got Flash, which again is my favorite keyword. As long as the Wandering Emperor entered the battlefield this turn, you may activate her loyal abilities anytime you could cast an instant. So if I flash it in on Zed's turn, I can activate those abilities, and one of those abilities is instant speed.
Damn.
So your turn is my turn, and my turn is my turn. Thank you. But her +1 is you can put a 1/1 counter up to 1 target creature. If so, it gains first strike until the end of the turn, which, again, with the modified, it helps out with giving you counters to kind of get that threshold. The -1 on this Planeswalker is you get to create a 2/2 white samurai creature token with vigilance. Again, it'll help you trigger those samurai abilities if you need something to do it and you can't really attack through favorably. That's at least an expendable body that'll get you there. And then the -2 is exile target tapped creature. You gain 2 life. So I'm not really excited about the gain 2 life, but it is a soft form of removal. Yeah, it's only target tapped creature, but it is an exile. So you win some, you lose some. It's not going to be perfect, but it gets you something out of it.
Damn. I actually did. When I look up the cards, I actually don't read the text because I'm looking forward to learning about them while you guys are learning about them. Damn, I kind of want that one for my deck.
Yeah, and this is the Wanderer. This is the Wanderer from War of the Spark. So, honestly, I was really excited once I saw her because I'm like, oh, okay, this is how we're taking this. Because I thought, like, originally when I saw the Wanderer, I'm like, oh, is it like... Because we could tell it was, like, very Oriental themed. It was like, okay, cool. Is this a Kitsune? Is that what it is? Or is it, like, a Moonfolk, like Tamio was? Or what? And, like, no, it's just a samurai. It's the Wandering Emperor. I'm like, okay, I can get behind this. This is really cool. And, you know, the ornamental armor's great. They've done a very good job with this card, I think. So I'm okay. I'm all okay with this one.
Yeah, I love the artwork. The flash ability is awesome. And then the fact that you can play her loyalty abilities at instant speed. I mean...
On the turn she comes in.
Yeah, just on the turn she comes in.
Because there's another Planeswalker that has that ability, but this one is kind of the closest we're going to get to that right now. So I think they did a very good job with it. And, you know, with Wizards' approach to try to balance or make white more powerful in Commander, a lot of that is going to be things like a lot of flash enabling, a lot of just kind of unique versatility there to kind of bring it in range with the other colors. This set has kind of shown us they're kind of going a little bit more of the reanimate route, it looks like, with it. But if you notice, a lot of my list was white cards. You know, we have 2 of my honorable mentions. We have my top 2 were white cards. And then my number 4 was a card that contains white. So I think they're doing a very, very good job with trying to bring the color in. There's still some weaknesses, but I think we're getting an upgrade in what we've had previously.
I would totally agree. And I don't want any one color to be perfect, to be honest.
Green.
I don't play green.
I love green.
Funny enough, I don't play green. I most of the time will play black, red, or white. I'm actually looking forward to this and all of the cards on this because all of them look awesome. I might just take your list and add it to the Bulls deck.
Not every card there should go, but, you know, it's a very good starting point, and kind of knowing that that's a good working base, it can give you a lot of inspiration to build things, because, you know, I saw Light Pause, and I started having my brewing ideas. You know, it's insert the you know, memes of just the, you know, all the algebraic equations, but it's like, I kind of started figuring out, okay, so what can I do to kind of get the most out of it? You know, there's a lot more to it, and I think it's a very fun set because they've built in so much flexibility. Yeah, it's still got some powerful cards in the set, but if I had to, make any complaint, really, it's more that we've got Phyrexians in this set too. It's like I would really like to take a year off from the, universe-ending threats. It's kind of getting old, but overall they've done a good job with this set. It's like, I liked Kaldheim when we went there. I like this set now that we're here. Strixhaven was Strixhaven. It had some fun aspects, but I was kind of met on it. And I like Innistrad when they're not ruining it with, giant Eldritch monsters.
Yeah, true.
So, Wizards, they've been doing a pretty good job with knocking these sets out and putting out good cards, or fun cards. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about some of the things that they're doing at the top end or with some of the crazy big things. But this set did a lot of really good things. I'm down for it.
I really like it. I do appreciate Wizards getting the stuff out on time with everything that's going on in the world. I know Digimon has been pushed back a little bit. Other card games have, but Wizards have been trying to get the stuff out on time. So I'm giving you guys a thumbs up for that, man.
We do have to ding points, though, for Crimson Vow. That was a fiasco.
Oh, yeah.
But, everyone's going to have a little bit of issues right now, so I understand. I'm just glad this one's coming out reasonably on time, and, I'm glad that we got good stuff here.
Yeah. Fun stuff. Stuff that I want to play with.
Yeah.
So, as always, guys, stay forever noob, stay safe, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Take care.